Good evening, everyone. My name is Ronnie Brett, and I am presenting my leadership book review
The
for
Accidental Leader book
OSHA 650,
is slated as
which
a survival
my
guide
book
for the
was
first
called The
100 days of
Accidental
being
Leader:
thrusted or put
What to Do
into
When
a
You're
leadership
Suddenly in
position.
Charge. Harvey
Myself
Robbins
has just
and Michael
almost
Finley
a
are
year
the
ago have
authors.
been put into an assistant manager position. This book would have really assisted in those first 100 days. It gives a lot of background information for you as the new leader to understand what's coming, as well as how to handle different situations. It also says think of this book as emergency equipment. Please keep it close to you like a life vest because it has answers to the questions that will be making you crazy. As I said, I would recommend this book to any individual that has become a leader unexpectedly, um, because it will help guide you through some of the issues that you may have. The book is separated into three distinct parts: managing oneself, managing the technical side, and then managing people. Each part helps to show what the new leader can expect from oneself, the technical side, and then also from others. The chapters go into the detailed steps it takes for a person to become a leader, not just to tell people what to do. The authors help reassure the readers that everyone has to confront many different situations, and how you react to them is what will set you apart from others. The book also discusses other situations that new leaders will encounter, how to effectively work with them to help reach the ultimate goal, as well as how to handle and deal with conflict with another person, and also um, understanding that you must establish goals and to develop a pathway that'll help you get there. Part one of the book, Managing Oneself, reassures readers that yes, you were picked to be a leader. It may not have been what was in the original plans, but it is what has been bestowed upon you. And yes, you can do it. So basically, what it's saying is suck it up, admit your fears, then move on. Every leader has had to face their issues, fears, and anxiety. Of course, some of the questions being, will I be a good leader? Number two, will I do a good job? Number three, of course, you don't want to fail. And then if you do fail, is the potential of losing your job. The one thing it does say, the book says, give yourself time to sort things out. The leader must first come to grips with the fact this is what you have been asked to do. Of course, as a leader, you can say no, or you can choose not to take that job. But please understand that if you choose to accept the task, you must understand that success is in your hands. The book also suggests the new leader ask themselves four specific questions. One of them is, why have I been handed this assignment? Number two, what are you good at exactly? Document it, write it down. And then you also want to document and figure out, number three, what are your weaknesses? Number four, how well do you understand the challenge that is at hand? So once you've gone through these questions and really thought about it, it will help you confront and deal with the issues that you have. Looking at it, you know what your weaknesses are. You also know what your strengths are. It'll also give you the ability to review. One of the quotes that I really liked out of the book, the author states from page 45, because if you don't know what you have, no change you achieve will matter because you won't be able to prove there was a change. For point A, for point B to mean anything, there first must be a point A plotted out. One of the next things, of course, as a new leader, you will have to meet your team. Chapter 3 discusses 7 things you will need to learn about your team, and they need to know about you. Of course, everyone needs to know many different items. One thing everyone needs to know is that you are genuine. As a group and team, You need to have open communication, as well as you must listen. It's one thing to talk, but you also have to listen and hear what your team and your group is telling you as well. As mentioned in the previous slide, the accidental leader, what would I do when you're suddenly in charge book, there were 7 things that you need to learn about your team and they need to know about you, as well as 2 warnings. So the first question is, how long have they been with the organization? Number 2, what do they want from the team? Number 3, what your expectations are. Number 4, what does the plan look like from both sides? Basically, what is the expectation? And then you want to hear feedback from the group of how they feel it is going as well. Number 5, how will the teamwork go? How will the structure of your team that you have put together, a group, work and fit together? Number 6, what is their most fulfilling work experience? Have them tell you what they liked and what they have seen. And then 7, also get and hear from them what they expect and what they need from a leader. This here will help you a lot. If you ask straight out, they're more than likely to answer you than just saying, hey, can I help you? Can I help you? If you flat out say, what do you need from me? They will be able to express it. Now, 2 warnings, of course, do listen more than talking. As I said in the previous slide, you have to hear what your group and team is saying. Just because they're talking, if you're not listening, they will catch on that. And then finally, on this slide, do not make promises you can't keep. A lot of times, leaders in the beginning will promise the world and they're unable to fulfill. So the group then gets anxious, gets upset, and tensions rise. So if you're not able to fulfill all the promises that you keep, don't even make any. Just, express that we will learn together and move on. In part 2 of the book, Managing the Technical Side, it goes into details as far as the leader looking and reviewing of how they're going to lead. Also, where do I turn as a leader if I have issues? And then the plan to succeed. And then finally, spread it around. Extend your shelf life. These are some of the items that were discussed in part 2. Chapter 4 in part 2 of the book goes into the discussion of understanding of what leadership styles you will have. The one thing it does say, of course, no person is specifically one type. Depending on the situation, you may switch from side to side or different style to different style to react and deal with situations. But primarily, you will be one, majority of the time, you will be one of these. There's the idealist, mentor, achiever, innovator, synthesizer, enthusiast, advocate, and diplomat. As we said, to be a good leader, you must be able to understand and react to the situations that you are and adjust as need be. Another topic that the book goes into detail is how you as a new leader can help overcome what's known as the learning curve. Several items deal with learning the history of your company, of course, understanding what the structure of the company is, what are the policies and procedures that you are dealing with, and try to figure out what type of past issues you've had in the department. Also, the author suggests that you expand yourself by getting involved with other leaders in your community, taking additional classes that will help you in your areas in which you're weak, take part in online discussions that offering differing points, as well as reading different articles in your area that you're dealing with. This way it'll give you a better understanding of different situations. By reviewing and learning the history of the facility, knowing the past may help understand current situations and assist in future decisions. Also, by understanding what the requirements and the policies and procedures will also help you reduce the potential of team members trying to pull a fast one on the new person. Reason being that if you understand what the precedence is, you can continue that without having individuals try you to adjust. In section 3 of the book, it is managing people. This section discusses how to work with teams, how to determine the types of individuals that are in the team, as well as handling conflict, establishing guidelines, dealing with age gaps, and how to give feedback. Within each of these sections, it gives you a little different information as far as how to deal with the individuals in the group and the group as a whole. In chapter 13 of the book, Living with Teams, the author states, "People don't believe a word you tell them. A team without trust is like a vampire victim. If you're the reason trust has drained away like the blood from a corpse, shame on you. All of the calamities that can befall a team, this is the most fatal." This is the truth that I've seen firsthand in my previous jobs. I've seen how production line supervisors have given false information to other team members on purpose, and then when they are basically caught in that lie, these team members turn against this person, and then at no time, no matter what is said to them, even if it is the truth or not, nobody believes them. Within this, it just creates speculation and negativity, which in turn will have effect on anything the group or the team tries to do. So always give the truth. There's no reason to lie to team members. Yes, you may not want to give them bad information or negative information, but you always want to be respectful and give them the truth, because it will come out eventually. One of the final sections in the book is chapter 15. It discusses the 7 basic decision-making methods. Of course, everyone must be on the same page as to how decisions are to be made. Not that everyone has to agree with each other, just that we all must show respect and listen. It is best to pick a method and stick to it as much as possible. The ability to stick to one method helps your group and team understand and what to expect when a decision is to be made. Of course, keep in mind, depending on what the situation is, you may have to change your style. But the 7 basic decision-making methods are: 1, carpool, which is consensus and decision-making. 2 is buy-in, which is kind of authoritative rule with discussion. Basically, you're telling the people what they're going to do, but you try to get their approval on it. Number 3, top down. That's authoritarian without discussion. Basically, I'm going to tell you, you're doing this. And then you have in-group, which is the minority rule. Then you have vote up, which is the majority rule. Then you have center strip, which is basically averaging the decisions. And then outside rule, decision making by consigliere, or another group is telling you how to make your decision. The one thing, let me go back and agree that there are many different styles of decision making, as we've just said, and at any point in time, depending on what the situation is, you may have your management telling you that this is what's going to happen, or you may have corporate that is telling you this is what has to happen, and that leader has to be the one that gets the teams motivated to follow that rule, even if it is not what you want. In conclusion, I'm very happy with my choice in leadership book that I chose, which was The Accidental Leader: What to Do When You're Suddenly in Charge, by Harvey Robbins and Michael Finley. It has given me a greater awareness of the aspects of leadership that I had never thought of. As well, the review of how to give feedback, personalities to deal with, and working with a group and team, and understanding that it is okay to be scared. This is one thing I really wish that I would have had this book at the beginning of my assistant managership over a year ago. I could have really helped myself knowing that it was okay to be scared, but I still will use a lot of the aspects in this book, even now that I've been in the position for more than a year. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for listening.